As the Democrats open their national convention, CBS News unravels a campaign of dirty tricks against presidential candidate Bill Clinton. We begin tonight with an exclusive CBS News report about an effort to sabotage the Clinton campaign. This report is the result of a 3-month-long investigation by CBS News. We followed a trail of dirty tricks from Washington, D.C. to Little Rock, Arkansas, and beyond. Correspondent Eric Ingberg shows you what we found.
It was the kind of tragedy a family desperately tries to forget. An emotionally distraught young woman, 7 months pregnant, takes her own life. But the family and friends of Susan Coleman have been forced to relive this tragedy as political agents threatened to drag her name through the mud of the presidential campaign.
They were victims of an unusually brazen dirty tricks operation run by an independent committee that supports George Bush for president.
The group, the Presidential Victory Committee, seized on an anonymous letter which had also been mass mailed to news organizations alleging that Susan Coleman's suicide 15 years ago followed a love affair with her law professor Bill Clinton that left her pregnant. Susan's family asserts there is no truth to this, and reporters who investigated the anonymous letter found it to be a nasty hoax. The head of the Victory Committee, Floyd Brown, specializes in gut-level negative attacks such as the notorious Willie Horton ad of 1988 and this year's Jennifer Flowers telephone hotline. Brown launched an effort to make the poison pen letter come true. He failed, but only after using many police state tactics.
You know, they were like peering like this?
Yes. That's what the neighbor said. They were peering, and they came over and they pulled at that door.
A friend of Susan Coleman's family, who asked that her name be withheld, says her neighbors told her Brown's henchmen came calling when she wasn't home. When she returned, they pressured her into talking to them.
They said they had been to the police department, they had been to banks, looking into various people's backgrounds.
The two gumshoes were Dave Bossy, an official of the Presidential Victory Committee, and Jim Murphy, a retired D.C. policeman. Federal election records show both men are paid by the Victory Committee for work on behalf of Bush's election.
They were asking such lurid and detailed questions about various people's lives that it was frightening.
Another stop for the investigating duo, the home of Susan's husband. He took their picture on his front porch. They probed for clues in the dead woman's suicide note.
They did want to know what was in it. I told them that was personal and it was none of their business.
Another target was Susan's mother. The duo trailed her down country roads to the Army Hospital in Augusta, Georgia, where her husband was being treated for a stroke.
Here, the two men burst into the sick man's room and began questioning the shaken mother about her daughter's suicide.
I think that this is sick.
Susan Coleman's sister, seeking to avoid a tabloid circus over her sister's memory, asked us for anonymity. She was angry and frightened over the harassment of her mother, and she was ready when Floyd Brown called to press for dirt. She recorded the calls.
Hi, Floyd Brown.
Hello, Floyd.
He did not hesitate to bring up gruesome details.
Was she depressed? See, you won't even answer if she was depressed.
Because
Was she suicidal?
to think that they have the right to just foster this type of grief on a family and to dredge up something like this is inexcusable. Just leave my family alone.
You're making it so difficult for me to leave your family out of it.
The sister remembers being stunned by one Brown proposal.
If there's any truth to this proposed story, I want to be very private. I want to basically have my lawyers approach Clinton's lawyers and tell him that we want him out of the race because he's not morally qualified to be president.
When we confronted Floyd Brown, he asserted a special right to track down sleaze and use it to blackmail candidates.
Because if a man's involved in that, he should not be president, Eric. He shouldn't be.
But we have an election to decide that.
That's right.
That's right. People go to the polls and vote. Floyd Brown doesn't decide by himself, does he?
I have people who work with me. I'm supported by thousands of individuals who like what I'm doing, who like that I'm aggressive, who like that I'm taking on the Washington establishment, who like what I'm doing.
The Bush campaign, referring to Brown and his associates as the lowest forms of life, today branded their tactics as despicable. The campaign says that Brown is not associated with the president in any way. However, the Bush campaign has not filed a formal complaint against Brown with the Federal Election Commission, which enforces the campaign laws. Susan's family has been left with a feeling there is a dark side to politics that threatens everyone.
I decided that it was time that the tricksters were stopped, and I know that my sister would have done it, and so I'll do it for her.
Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.